Hello everyone and welcome to this beginner's guide on DeadSide. So I was thinking this video is going to consist of hopefully everything. I'm hoping to cover all bases, so you only got one guide for everything. So I thought I would share some of this knowledge for the people who are just installing the game. So we're going to start with tips and tricks. When you spawn in, you should have a lighter in your inventory. I would recommend that you keep that lighter in order to start fires to cook your food, because hunting is now implemented into the game, so you have to have a fire in order to cook your food. I recommend having a compass. I don't know if you start with a compass or if you have to find one, but I do recommend getting a compass, especially if you're wanting to explore the map just at the beginning until you know the map better. The compass will be located on the top center of your screen, and the map is facing true north, I believe. So up is north, down is south. Putting your gun on semi-auto instead of full auto by pressing the letter X on your keyboard will give you better control over your weapon. So as you are trying to shoot the enemy, especially at longer range, you can take more stable shots by having that on semi-auto. Military and law enforcement use semi-auto for a reason, so I know it's a video game, but if you want to have that little bit of accuracy, then I'd say go ahead and put it on semi-auto, but you can choose whatever you want to do. So you can get a radio, a walkie-talkie, and you'd think the walkie-talkie would be for talking to your teammates, but unfortunately I can't figure out any way to do it if there is a way. It's actually to pick up radio chatter of the enemy, and it kind of just tells you that you are close to enemies, so be careful. So you can create one by taking a broken walkie-talkie part, battery, and electronics components, which you can find laying around in the world, and you'll figure out where some of this stuff starts spawning as you explore. When you get into combat, using cover is your friend. Hard cover, to be exact, not soft cover. And the difference between hard and soft cover protects you from getting shot. So hard cover will actually stop the round. And in this game, hard cover is pretty much any solid object, I think. Trees, buildings, doors, anything like that should protect you. I'm not 100% for sure when it comes to crates and stuff like that, so be cautious. Unfortunately, enemies, they can see through the terrain, so they can see through bushes, they can see through tree lines whenever you're in combat with them. Also, a good tip is to cover your sectors. So as you are going through towns, as you're going around corners, buildings, clearing rooms, just kind of cover your corners, you know, and keep your head on a swivel. So always look around, you know, keep an eye out. Sometimes they're on the roof, sometimes they're on the ground. When it comes to a lot of enemies, it's best to let them come to you. So maybe if you can get some high ground or just a nice open view to where you have the advantage on them, let them come to you instead of you going to them. Something I always try and do, I always try to keep 300 rounds of my primary gun ammo on me. So I am using 5.56, so I try to keep 300 rounds in my bag plus a magazine. So, and then on my secondary weapon, which is typically a long-range weapon, I would recommend that for people. I try to keep 100 rounds, 200 rounds maybe, depending on what kind of long-range gun you have. I'm using the SBD, so I'm only keeping 100 rounds plus a mag. And then for my pistol, I try to keep 50 to 100 rounds for it. Just something to know that I have enough ammo to kill an enemy and either take their gun or to get ammo. And another big thing, I always try to keep a grenade on me, just in case I want something to go boom. Sometimes there's a group of them and I just want to throw a grenade into them. I've never successfully killed any NPCs or anybody with a grenade, not yet, or at least not on purpose. I think maybe there was a time by accident, but I won't mention that. Then when it comes to medical supplies, so I try to keep bandages on me for the most part, because bandages does not affect your food or water. And right now with this new update, food and water has become a little harder for you, which we'll get into in just a little bit. And I say this because painkillers, there's painkillers, and I believe there's stim packs or something. It's like an EpiPen type thing. And the EpiPen will give you full health, and the painkillers give you, I think, 50% health back or something, or 60. So they do a lot for your health quickly, but unfortunately it takes your food and water down rapidly. And then you're just in trouble, because you need either something to eat or something to drink, and you'll die from that. So kind of use that carefully and with some caution. I try to keep a molly vest on me of some sort, because it gives you more gear space. So if I'm doing, say I'm picking up an airdrop that came down, and I don't have the space, I can just take off my plate carrier, put it in my backpack, and then put on this molly vest, and I have more storage space. So I've actually learned that tip from a guy called Zombie Killer, who is pretty good at this game actually. I did a video with him. He was showing me how to do heli crashes. So you definitely want to go back and watch that video. And that video was episode 5. So you can put guns in your backpack, and now you can put guns with attachments in your backpack, which is very useful. But unfortunately you can only put certain guns in your backpack. Rifles like the SVD you cannot put in your backpack, and I think any sniper rifle cannot go in your backpack. So it has to be, I'm assuming, a submachine gun to an assault rifle, or pistol, shotgun, something like that, but not a sniper rifle. And I could be wrong on some of those guns. I haven't really tested all of the weapons. I think you have to have the large backpack in order to put guns in your backpack. I could be wrong on that one as well. I always try to keep a short range sight, so reflex sight, in my bag or on me, in case I ever need to put it on my sniper rifle for any reason. I think I've actually had to use that once in the past. I think I was doing an epic mission, I just ran out of ammo or something, and only thing I had left was my sniper, and it was too close. And it's easier to use a reflex than it is to use iron sights. But if you have your primary weapon and you have a sight on your primary weapon, you can just pull that off. But I like to keep a second one on me just because I have the space to spare anyways. Helmets and armor actually do make a difference when it comes to ballistic protection. You have the heavy helmet, which is like the Russian face shield helmet. It's ugly as all get out for me, but I like to keep it in my bag, and I always forget to switch to it. But I like to have it for whenever I do missions. I like to switch over, but I just never do that. So it is what it is, but I have it on my person at all times. I feel the best place to start to find gear would be the abandoned buildings located around the map. I wouldn't go into bigger cities because there's more likely to be enemies. And just around the buildings, I remember my first shotgun I found was outside of a building, I think around either a compost bin or like a pig trough or something like that. So that was definitely the best place to find like starting gear. And when I say starting gear, I mean clothing and basic weaponry. The best place to be looking for that would be just in like log cabins, smaller areas, just to start out, and then venture out into the bigger town areas. So this kind of goes along with the getting started gear section. gear in the buildings, you can find food, and canned drinks as well. You used to be able to buy canned food and drinks from the shop, but that has been taken out since the last update. So the best way to find food that I've found thus far is hunting. You can hunt duck, and I have on the screen here a location where we were hunting duck, and it was pretty plentiful for you. The only thing you need is just a fire. So after you skin the duck, you can just cook it over the fire, and also you can take the duck whole into your inventory. I can't remember the stacks. I think you can do like a stack of 5 or 8 with the cut up duck, and I don't know, I can't remember if you can stack the duck or not without it being chopped up. So you'll need a knife as well. I like to keep canned food on me as a backup, and a canned soda or something like that just as a backup, because drinks are actually hard to come by now if you don't have a settlement. So I don't think you can get water from rivers. The only way that I know that you can get water as of this moment is by using rain collectors, which you'll have to build, and also that takes time because it needs to either actually rain or maybe just over time it builds condensation. Also, there was an update that was released not too long ago that was stating in the 0.5.0 update, which is going to bring the boats, that there's going to be wells that is going to be scattered across the map, so you don't have to make the water collector when this new update comes out. But until then, this is the only way that you get water, is by doing the condensation collector. You can build a base by pressing B on your keyboard, and that opens up the build menu. You will also need an axe, saw, and hammer. You can buy these from the shop located in the safe zone. You'll need an axe to chop up a tree to get wood, which the tree gives unlimited wood as of right now, so you can never cut down the tree. So that's kind of a plus, I guess. You're not able to build in the safe zones, and you can't build close to the safe zone, so there's actually a perimeter around the safe zone that you won't be able to build, which your stuff will just stay red. So if you're getting the red, it's because you're too close to the safe zone. Using a bearing finder, you can find hidden loot in the woods. The light will flash faster as you get closer to the loot. The light will turn a solid white when you are standing on top of the area to dig, or close enough to it to dig. The bearing finder will not work if you have it in your belt, so you have to have it in your hands in order to use it. I learned that the hard way. You will also need to have a shovel to dig, of course. Doing missions is a great way to start finding gear. The harder the mission difficulty, the better the gear. Rifles can have muzzle brakes, which will help you control the firearm better, and pistols is the only weapon that have suppressors, unfortunately, at this time. Guns now get dirty, or damaged, I guess, over time by you shooting them, and you'll need a cleaning kit to repair it. So what do you need to make a cleaning kit? Well, you'll need a weapon toolkit, and also the weapon class components. And how you get the weapon class components is by disassembling rifles, or any guns to be exact. So if you need shotgun components, you'll need to disassemble a shotgun, and it'll give you the components for that. And the only way that I found to get the toolkits is by doing missions or finding them in loot crates. Now, that's not saying that that's the only way, because you might just be able to find them in the regular world. I don't know exactly. I just never have. You'll be able to tell your gun's durability, I'll call it, is at the bottom of your screen on the hotkey bar. You'll see underneath the rifle there is a line, and that line will go from green to red as your weapon gets dirty, and also you will see your gun will jam as your gun gets dirtier, and I'm air quoting here, and you'll see on your screen that it's telling you to press R to unjam your rifle, and you'll see on the bottom right hand side where your ammo count is a little jam icon. So there are 4 different types of missions. There's easy, medium, hard, and epic. Each mission that you complete, you'll be given a loot crate to open as a successful win, I guess. And each difficulty completed will give you better gear in that final loot crate. So if you complete an easy mission, you're typically going to get something maybe around a little better than what you'll find around the world, or what you will find around the world. So it's more or less getting parts to disassemble, I guess, to make cleaning kits. The harder the difficulty, the more enemies / the better geared enemies you will face, which I think that's kind of a given, I guess. Epic can be epic. I've done a video on me doing an epic mission solo, and it was difficult. You can do all these missions by yourself. You just have to take your time and don't go running in guns blazing. So I'm gonna call them care packages, but these care packages will fall randomly out of the sky, and you'll be able to know that a care package is coming by hearing a plane fly over you, or it's a helicopter. It's either a plane or a helicopter, I can't remember right now.
It's telling me this item is unavailable.
Which item?
Chopper?
Helicopter.
Oh, that's the drop. That's the...
I think it's the new drop. Hey, pushing southwest. It'll drop a care package, and this care package can contain decent loot. But if you're playing on a multiplayer server, it can be a bit of a trap. There's typically no enemies that spawn with this care package, so you can go there knowing that there shouldn't be enemies, but you might run across some enemies along the way. And once the care package has been cleared, so you gathered all the gear out of it, it will state to everybody on the server that the care package has been looted. So that could be a bit of a disadvantage for you. Maybe if you want to leave 1 or 2 items in the loot crate, so the game doesn't say, hey, the care package has been looted, and then enemies are just waiting for you, and other players are not just waiting for you. Heli crashes can be a bit difficult, especially your first time and you don't know what you're doing. There's typically 5 guys that are part of a heli crash, and something to keep in mind is you can get a key from these 5 guys, which we'll explain more about this key in just a few minutes. So whenever you kill these guys, you want to remember where you killed them if it is spread out further, and you want to loot all 5 of these guys. After completing the heli crash, or not completing the heli crash, because I have looted the loot box that is up against the heli crash without killing all the enemy in one of my videos, and it was called Heli Hack and something else, I can't remember. So there are locked boxes located around the map. Really, I only know of 2 areas, but I'm sure there's more. And these locked boxes will contain kind of rare items for say. So you can get pretty much any gun, and typically it's a more high quality gun. All these guns come out with a paint job of some sort, so they're kind of elite guns, I guess. That's really all I've ever got from them. And how you open these locked boxes is by using the key that you have gotten from either the heli crash or, well, the guys, one of the dead guys from the heli crash, or I think you can find keys around the map as you're looting. I believe I have found 1 or 2 keys randomly while looting, so that's something to keep in mind. The location of these locked boxes that I know of. The biggest one would be the underground bunkers, which is on the eastern side of the map. Typically that's the best place to go to find the locked boxes, but I have also found a locked box in a military base that's somewhere down south. I can't honestly remember the location. I'll try and mark an area for you. Convoys are probably the hardest. I don't know the exact number of people you would face in a convoy. I'm gonna say it's between 5 and 10. It probably varies, I'm sure. But the convoy guys are the elite, I guess. Or at least there's one elite guy. He's the main boss of the convoy. He's wearing really cool looking armor, and he tends to have some sort of light machine gun. The best way to attack these guys is ambush, would probably be my best advice to you. Either ambush or getting up high and letting them come to you, like I mentioned earlier in this tutorial video. I actually have a video of me facing a convoy a few different times. I have a few different videos, I think, where I was facing a convoy, but the biggest one, I got up high in a stairwell and I had them coming to me and I was just popping them off from a distance. Probably the easiest way to kill these guys. But you can also ambush them, like I was saying. When you kill the leader, he drops a box, and this box becomes visible to everybody on the map. And once you pick up this box, which you will take this box to a safe zone to give to the traders for them to open up. But as you pick up this box, you become shown on the map where your location is. Roughly, it doesn't give the exact location of you, but it gives a fairly small circle of location to where I think you would be found. So just keep that in mind, that when you pick up this box, you are actually showing your location to any human player on the server. But the things that you get from this box, I don't think you can find anywhere else other than from this box. I could be wrong, but I have not found any of these items around the world or from completing missions. Typically you get muzzle brakes or sights. Like the sight that I use on my rifle now, I have only got it out of the box. I believe that wraps up this beginner's guide video. Before I let you guys go, I want to give 2 more bonus tips for you all. You can auto run by pressing V, I believe. How I turn off the HUD on my screen is by pressing the += key on my keypad. I hope you all enjoy this game. If you want to really see this game in action, I would suggest that you watch my videos, because I have done every one of these things that I am talking about now on camera. So I tried to show you snippets, but I can't remember everything from my videos, so I suggest you go back and just watch my videos, and I hope you enjoy, and I'll see you all next time. Bye for now.